Sony has been losing money. Well, yeah, okay. They've been losing money for the past 6 or 7 years. They haven't really been making a profit over there at Sony. They've been in the red for a very long time over there at Sony for the past 6 or 7 years. Michael Jackson passed away about 6 or 7 years ago. Isn't that eerie? Isn't that scary? It's a little eerie, isn't it? For those of you who are heavy into your Bibles and heavy into your Jesus and your Christianity, or even those of you who are into your Muslims, listen, that's fine. I'm not disrespecting your religions. I'm just saying there's something eerie going on right now. I say there's a Michael Jackson curse. I'm the first and only person to say that. I've been saying that for a long time too. Let me say that in private though, to friends and family, for the things that Sony have put Michael Jackson through. I do believe there is a Michael Jackson curse. I even believe that Sony put out the rumor that Michael Jackson was a pedophile. I don't know. But that's another topic for another day. But anyway, for the past 6 or 7 years, Sony hasn't been really making too much of a profit. You know what I mean? For the past 2 years, though, with the PlayStation 4, they have been doing very, very well. Very well with the PlayStation 4. And now for the remaining 3 years, they're going to give it a try, and they're just going to focus on PlayStation. That's where they're directing all of their attention to is we're going to invest in PlayStation. We're going to do what we know best, and that is PlayStation. And we're going to focus on bringing and building the user base. Right now, we're doing pretty good with the sales. And right now, they're also doing good with PlayStation Plus and things of that such. Which is surprising due to the problems that PlayStation Online has. Which is amazing. Amazing. Ain't no Michael Jackson curse on that. I guess Michael Jackson's going after things that are Sony. You know what I'm saying? Like, because what they're going to drop is those janky ass TVs. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're amazing televisions. But if you from the hood like me, you never had a PlayStation television because they were too expensive. You got the cheap shits, you know what I'm saying? You got the Vizios, or even before that, you know what I'm saying? If you're from the hood like me, you didn't really have a Sony PlayStation. A Sony television. Them motherfuckers was always expensive. So yes, I believe, yes, we can get rid of the televisions. They're also dropping the cell phones. I didn't even know Sony had cell phones. Now, the cell phone market is funny. You know what I mean? It fluctuates from... Right now, for the past couple of years, it's been iPhone and Android. But I remember before that, it used to be Verizon and their little sidekicks. Remember everybody had one of them swanky, janky little flip things? It was... You know what I mean? So the cell phone market is funny, but I don't think Sony has a place in it. I don't think they ever did. I just can't remember a Sony phone. I really can't. But anyway, they're focusing on games. They're dropping the televisions. They're dropping the cell phones, which is great for the next 3 years. They're also focusing on the Sony Pictures. That's where you have Spider-Man, huh? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And not only that, Spider-Man also went to Marvel. That means Spider-Man's profit had just went up 10 times. And not only that, Sony still owns Spider-Man. They're basically letting Marvel, borrow him in a way. So yeah, I see what they're doing. They're going to bet it all on PlayStation, Spider-Man, and not only that, the music. And like I told you before, Sony's catalog runs deep. Sony owns everybody when it comes to music. I remember I was listening when people said that Michael Jackson was broke. Right before he passed away. It was just so much chaos that they were putting on poor Michael. So much rumors, and you all believed it too. Not me, not all you, especially white people, especially Caucasians. Every Caucasian man thought he was guilty. Every Caucasian man thought he was a rapist. Well, we know who the true rapist and pedophile is, but we'll go deeper into that later. The shit they put Michael Jackson, he was broke. I mean, I'm not pretty sure Michael Jackson didn't care about those type of things, about, you know, being broke or whatever, or the material possessions. He was more of a giver than a receiver, which probably brought him so much money because he probably really didn't care too much about money. He cared more about the art. I guess the money was more of a bonus. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so they were saying that Michael Jackson was broke. And they were saying when he passed away, all of a sudden he said, "Oh no, he wasn't broke because he owned everybody." And he was naming the people that he owned in music. That it was crazy. He owned the Beatles. He owned. I remember he owned Little Richard's. You guys don't even know who I'm talking about, but he was a black guy who claimed, and I believe him, that created the rock and roll or whatever, things like that. And he gave him back his catalog. I mean, like, Michael Jackson just owns everybody when it came to music, and Sony owns that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be music. Sony owns everybody, so you can't lose there. Pictures, Sony Pictures. Sony's making movies all the time. Spider-Man was a big fail, but Spider-Man's about to make a huge profit by teaming with Marvel. And with PlayStation 4 is selling like hotcakes all over the world compared to the Xbox. It only can barely sell here in America. And, you know, in the next 3 years, it's going to be something to marvel at. Because if you're focusing on PlayStation, you're focusing on Zombie 70, and you're focusing on games. For the next 3 years, they're going to be focusing on basically bringing you game after game after game after game. For those of you who are Xbox fans, why? There was no game plan when it came from Microsoft. They literally told you this is going to be a media console. We're focusing on everything but gaming. With Phil Spencer coming in and telling you this marketing plan that we're going to focus on games but continue to bring you the same Call of Duty and Call of Duty map packs is bullshit. PlayStation in the next 3 years is going to be supplying you nothing but pure games. If you claim to be a gamer, where's your PlayStation 4? Zombie, where's your PlayStation 4? Okay, listen. Due to money circumstances, I will begin. Did you just see that they're offering you over GameStop? They're offering you a free PlayStation television to go with the PlayStation 4. I don't know. That's tempting. But I think the selling lasts from the 18th to the 24th. So I think I'll be, I'm saving my money for Bloodborne. I want my sales to go to Bloodborne in March. And I want those MPD numbers to come in. And I want on the MPDs to say Zombie 70 on that mother sucker. I contributed to the March sales by beating Microsoft in March. Anyway, this is great news. For those of you who are fans of the Sony cell phones, I don't even know one. I don't know anybody who owns a Sony cell phone. And those of you who have been fans of the Sony televisions, middle class white Americans and rich people, Negroes didn't have Sony. If you did, you had expensive gadgets, but you were poor as shit. Balling on the budget, you guess, I don't know, not balling on the budget, but you were living amongst your means that you couldn't afford, just to improve a bunch of people that didn't like you anyway, impress a bunch of people that didn't like you anyway. But anyway, I'm rambling so strong right here. But listen, this is a good thing. In the next 3 years, PlayStation, Sony Music, and Spider-Man. It's going down, man. It's looking really good.